Hi, everyone. This is Dov Hershkovitz from the Pipeline Authoring team. I'm here with Nadia Sotnikova, our UX design, and this is the kickoff video for 14.2. So before we'll dive into the scope of this iteration, as always, we do have a planning issue, and if you want to learn more about what we plan to do in this iteration, you can go through this issue. We have the list of the deliverable items in one table and the filler ones on the bottom. This iteration will be light. We have several engineers that are on PTO, which is great, and this is why I want to focus mainly on one issue, which contributes to this epic. Issue is issue number 2, but let's talk a little bit about the epic before we'll dive into that issue. So as you can read from the header, we want to support autocomplete in the pipeline editor. I think it's more than autocomplete. I'll dive into that in a second, but for the background, you know that the pipeline editor is the place that we want to make sure all of our users are going when they write their pipeline configuration. This is why I want to make sure they are getting the most out of it. But we also know that GitLab CI can be intimidating. There are a lot of keywords, there are a lot of options on how you can write a pipeline, and it's very error prone. And the job to be done for this epic is the following. When writing a CI pipeline, I would like to know what are the available keywords so I can use the one I need. And when using a keyword, I would like to know what this keyword is doing so I can build the pipeline I need. Yeah. And the proposed solution for that is, first of all, as I mentioned, we want to provide our user with some autocomplete functionality in the pipeline editor when they start writing their pipeline, and it will provide the user with the available keyword. They actually know what they can use, and it will reduce the likelihood of doing typos and errors when they write the keyword, which happens to me a lot. And in addition, we want to provide a keyword description when you hover over a keyword or when you start typing the keyword, so user can get themselves familiar with what each keyword is doing, and also to add some sort of a link from that keyword to a specific section in the doc that explains more about this keyword. This way, the user can read and understand what are the available functionality that they can use for that keyword. And there is like a proposed design, and I think we have a design issue where we are discussing several designs that we can do, but just like to explain how it will look. So if I'm in the pipeline editor and I type the letter S, I immediately see all the keywords that are available to me that start with the letter S. I can see the description, and there is a button here where I can click and go to the documentation to read more. Up until today, we've run 2 spikes issues, one from front and one from backend, and we've broken it down into several implementation issues. But we've decided that the first thing we'll do, and this is where I'm going to talk about the actual issue, is to work a little bit about on the backend. And the idea here is to leverage a schema that is available today. So if you use the pipeline editor in .com, you may occasionally saw that there is some sort of an autocomplete functionality that you can use, but there are a lot of problems using that. So first of all, the schema that we are using is hosted by a third party. So it's here in GitHub, which means that you need to have some internet access from your GitLab instance to that schema in order to use it, which means that if you are a self-managed customer, we cannot guarantee that it will work, and indeed it is not working for .com user because we disabled the feature flag for self-managed. And also the schema is not up to date with all the latest keyword that we've added. So in this issue, and this is the foundation of this whole work that the epic described, is first of all move the schema from the store to our repository, okay? Then add some sort of an endpoint that serves the schema so everyone can use and access that schema, and update the schema with the missing keyword. Once we'll achieve those 3 items, then we can start build on top of that, like adding the keyword description and enabling the autocomplete and adding the links to the doc. So all of this will be something that we can build upon once we'll complete this issue. Yeah, and that's basically the issue, and I think the main goal that we want to achieve in 14.2. As I promised, I liked iteration. I'm going to pass it over to Nadia, where she can speak about the scope of work for UX.
Yeah, let me share my screen. Okay, so 14.2 is going to be a very exciting milestone for UX, I think, because we've spent the past couple milestones doing a lot of research where we've gathered an enormous amount of insights around the pipeline editor, around the pipeline graph, and the CI/CD templates. So the main 2 areas that I will be focusing on in 14.2 is exploring the improvements to the experience around using CI/CD templates for CI onboarding, as well as how do you maintain a library of templates as an enterprise. So I will be looking at all of those different flows. And the other focus is improving the job dependencies view in the pipeline graph. So we've just finished solution validation and gathered lots of great insights. So we will need to clarify the proposals and prioritize the top fixes, which right now are tentative plan is to address these 3 issues. So first, we want to make sure that we show the jobs in the job dependencies view in the correct order. So we actually show you exactly the correct order of the jobs in your pipeline based on all of the different job dependencies. Another one is we want to highlight not only the jobs upstream, the jobs that the job depends on, in the graph. We also want to show the jobs downstream. So that would allow you to see the full critical path, basically, in your pipeline. And the other one is we want to look into how can we show the job dependency links in the graph by default without you having to toggle them on and off, which was our fix around some performance concerns, but we want to see if we can solve it in some other way. So I want to dive a little bit deeper into the work that we're doing around the CI/CD templates, because I think this is going to take up a lot of time in 14.2. So currently in the process of wrapping up visionary mockups design for CI template onboarding experience. So which means how do we use CI/CD templates in GitLab for onboarding someone onto CI when they're creating their project pipeline? And that can be just like an individual developer creating a pipeline for their project, or maybe someone who is working on a bigger team and they have a central team managing CI/CD templates that created some template library for them and they have to access it somehow. So we're planning lots of improvements around ease of CI onboarding, basically. So I think we will spend this milestone discussing the mockups and sharing them broadly across GitLab and getting some validation from customers and GitLab users as well. So it will be a great way to facilitate this discussion, because CI templates are a critical part of GitLab CI/CD experience. So we will be making lots of improvements there. And we're also working kind of collaboratively at the same time with some of the engineers at GitLab that are also working on the technical proposal. So there will be lots of collaboration in 14.2 on that. And yeah, aside from that, we're doing some more work around onboarding. We'll be partnering up with the growth team around creating an experience for guided onboarding in the pipeline editor. So I think this will be very exciting as well. And if you want, you can check out other issues. There's also links to the latest research that we've done if you're curious about the insights that we've created. Yeah, I think this is it. A very exciting milestone ahead.
Awesome. Thank you, Nadia, and thanks everyone. As always, if you have any thoughts or comments, you can send them to me, or you can add a comment in the planning issue. Thanks, and bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.